This is how like non-production-y these videos are. Make sure my stomach is covered. All right, bloopers round one. Oh my god. Reagan grew. Hey party people, you're in the place to be. This is Teneice TV. Hey everybody, welcome back to Teneice TV. You are catching me with my turban on today because I am too lazy. It's like a gray day outside and I'm too lazy to even put water on my hair. I don't feel like doing anything. So this is the raw, unedited version of me. But as far as the video today, I realized that I kind of just jumped on the scene and really didn't give a background as to who I am and how I'm here. So what I want to do is try to go over, my quick lifespan in about 12 minutes or less. And if it's not 12 minutes, I'm going to edit like hell to make it somewhere around there. So I'm going to give my, major things and then try to give a lesson that I learned at each one of those phases. There's about 3 phases that brought me to here. So I'll fast forward all the way up until graduation of high school. I graduated. I lived in Frederick, Maryland. And I decided I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Washington, which was right outside of Georgetown in DC. And my parents were like, we ain't paying for you to go to college because you were up here just wilding out in high school, not really being a stellar student. So we're not going to pay for it. So I was like, okay, well, I got to figure something out because I am not living here. I got to get out of this town. So the military wasn't a very foreign concept to me. And so I just went and signed up for the Air Force. And that's what I did. So I shuffled my ass to Texas, and that's where I was first assigned, in Wichita Falls, Texas at Shepherd Air Force Base. And I was assigned there for a while. I deployed to the Middle East, to Abu Dhabi for a few months, came back. And I have to say that my military career was amazing. After Texas, I was assigned to the Defense Intelligence Agency in Washington, D.C. So I did some special duty type of stuff. And during my stint in the military, that's where I got married. That's where I had a daughter. That's where I birthed some of my great friendships and networks. I'm friends with the girls I met on day one, still to this day. Hey Mel, Candace, and Keita. So I have some really great friends that, connections have lasted a lifetime. So there's that. But my major point for what I wanted to say as far as my lesson that I learned during the military is, do not let people redirect you from your goals and dreams because of a lack of resources or because of their lack of faith in you or whatever. And the reason why I say that is because that wasn't what I originally wanted to do. I knew that I eventually wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was young, and I wanted to go through graphic arts and design. I took AP graphic arts in high school, and I just loved that type of stuff. But instead of hustling and finding a way to put myself through school after my parents told me no, I just was like, all right, let me find some other way. But that way, I eventually came back to it, but it took me 10 plus years, So, if you find what you want to do it. Don't let anybody tell you no. So there's that. The marriage, that's a major part of my story. I'm pretty sure my ex-husband's going to be super mad at me if he ever watches this video because for some reason he doesn't want people to know I've been married. Like, dude, that's part of my story. But yeah, the marriage thing could take up the whole 12 minutes of this video on its own. That is a story. Like, if you know me in detail, you guys know the whole foolishness that my marriage was. But anyway, I learned so much about being in a relationship and then being married and what you deal with and what you shouldn't deal with. And most importantly, I think I learned who I was through my marriage, and then through the dissolution of my marriage, I definitely learned who Teneice was. It's funny because I think my ex-husband doesn't even recognize me anymore. Like, look-wise, I look different, but I think he kind of thinks that I'm like making half of my personality up. I'm like, no, dude, this is real life. I just got to be free now. So one day, I got married at 20. It was like a few days before my 21st birthday, a couple weeks or something. And I was married for 9 years or so before I filed for divorce. But prior to that, I I just woke up one day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is a mess. And what I've learned through that marriage is to walk away from things that no longer serve you without beating yourself up about it, without sitting here and just dragging yourself through the process. You don't have to go through a process. You don't have to, you can quit some things. That's one thing that I definitely learned about through my divorce, is that you can be a quitter. People are conditioned to think that they commit to something and to see it all the way through. No ma'am, no sir. If it is not working for you, if it's not feeding your spirit, if it is like totally demolishing you, let it go. So that's exactly what I did. I let it go, and I have had a beautiful life ever since then, for the most part, because that was just something that I needed to let go of. No hard feelings. I'm good. Hopefully he is. Let it go. That's what I learned. The third thing that was a major thing for me is, after I got out of the military, like I said, I had always wanted to really be in the artsy fartsy type of thing with graphic arts and all that other type of stuff. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. But after I got out of the military, I was here in DC, and the natural progression was to get a government job, because this is where the government is, and I was cleared to do all of that type of stuff. So and then the money is great. I think I know that in DC we have a very tight bubble here, where we're kind of immune to some of the things that happen in the economy, and people are spoiled as far as their salaries go. So it was very easy just to make a transition from one job to another job to whatever, and kind of get stuck in that cycle of just job hopping in DC. So I did. It totally wasn't what I wanted to do, but I did it like so many other people. But then earlier this year, I was leaving a job, and instead of finding another one in the same job, I was like, okay, this is the universe saying to me, Teneice, it's time. Because every other time a job had ended, I was a contract or whatever, I went and found another job, and I was miserable. And I'm like, no, this is the last time I'm going to leave a job and then go find something that's just going to make me equally as miserable with maybe $10,000 more in salary a year. That just didn't feed me. So I stopped. I was like, I am going to figure out a way to work for Teneice. And so that's how Teneice TV came into play. That's how Plain Tea Blue Jean came about. And what it really is I decided that my purpose in life was to help other people find their purpose. And so that's what I do. I really love doing lifestyle work and helping women, especially. I do talk to some men about, like, privately about relationships and dating and stuff like that. But I really felt like my purpose in life was so much bigger than sitting at a desk or driving an hour to work and then just being miserable once I got there. So here I am, really pushing my own personal brand. From my own personal brand was the birth of Plain Tea Blue Jean. It is a progressive apparel line, primarily with t-shirts. Introduce some different items throughout the year. But instead of really sitting down and writing my blog and writing like a website or whatever, I was like, okay, let me slap some really cool stuff on some shirts. And so voila, there's a brand that's there now. So I'll put that link in the description box. And that's really, until next time, namaste, sayonara.